Welcome back to my MS journey. Diagnosis day. I was diagnosed on 4/12 of 2004. I was one of the very lucky ones when I got diagnosed. I know that sounds crazy saying lucky one, but I didn't know I had MS. I had no prior symptoms, no signs of it. Just one day shows up. It was actually Easter weekend of 2004. Um, I thought I was having a stroke because my whole left side went numb. And I'm thinking, it's Easter. Can't give up my Easter. I had two little kids. My kids were little, two kids. They were little at the time. So I went to my in-laws for Easter dinner. I enjoyed my ham, my potatoes, my everything. It was very good, by the way. And then I'm thinking, so I went to stand up and I couldn't get up. I was numb. Tingling sensations, just numb. So I looked over at my husband and he's like, okay, we better go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room. And by the time I got there, I couldn't even walk. So he had to take me in a wheelchair and all that good stuff. Get back there. They started treating me like I was having a stroke. It wasn't a stroke, of course. And so they ran some tests and they're like, okay. And then did a CT scan. And I guess there were some things they didn't like on my brain and didn't say anything to me. And then next thing I know, like, we need you to sign this paper. You need, can't think of the name of it right now, a spinal tap. So I got a spinal tap. Let me tell you about that needle. That needle is huge, like tranquilizer needle, more or less. And you have to lay still for that, of course, and all the good perks with that. And then wasn't even 15 minutes later, they come in my room and said the magic word. We're sorry, you have MS. And left. They walked out of the room. I'm like, what do you say? What do you do? You know what to do. You're frozen. You lose. I looked at my husband. He looked at me. We're both. And then they came back in. And they started telling me all kinds of medical stuff. And I'm all like, whoa, back up. I just heard I got about this. So, okay, fine. I was like, okay, whatever. I left, went home. To my kids on Easter, of course. So the next day, I couldn't even move. So much pain. Everything was just crazy from head to toe. Go back to the same hospital emergency room. This time, they admitted me. And I stayed there for a couple weeks. Then from there, I got discharged, went to rehabilitation center, stayed there a couple weeks. And at the time, I only had one kid in my son was in, I believe, preschool. And our daughter was 2. So she was just a little. And I was like, how does a person cope with this? How do I handle life? How do I take care of my children? I have a husband. At that time, he worked away, meaning he was like 2-hour drive, but he'd travel back and forth every day. But it was just like a whirlwind for me. I had no clue what was going on. And the internet was still newish back then. I mean, it was there, but it was like not much information on anything like it is in today's society. So I did a lot of research, got some books from the rehab, went to a support group. Was not for me. Let me tell you about that. That was not for me. The support group was all, oh, boo hoo hoo hoo, blah, 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 blah. Again, each person with MS is not the same. We're all like snowflakes. You know the snowflake. Each one of us is different. My symptoms aren't the same as your symptoms. Your symptoms are the same as my symptoms. We're all different. But the support group, it could be good for you. Just so was not for me. But again, this is my journey. I'm just giving you little bits and pieces of mine. As always, if you have any questions for me, let me know. Again, MS sucks. So if you know anybody who has MS, they're not lying about they can't do things with you because they're having an MS day. believe them. Thanks, guys.